Welcome back to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World of Edge. Okay, I'm really not looking forward to this part, but not just because I have to fight a 4-star at the beginning, but because in this part, I'm gonna have to give my thoughts on Adam Malkovich, and yeah, as I guess would say in Persona Q, it is a minefield. But first, to take my mind off of that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gym. I'm actually wondering what all these spirits enhance into, so I guess we'll find out. I've had Boom Boom for a while. Wondering if that Chow will turn into Omo Chow, but isn't there like a gold Chow that you could get via special conditions in the Chow Garden? I don't know if I actually said this before, but I had this weird thing when I first did the, when I was first playing Sonic Adventure 2, I had two kind of main Chow, and then at one point, completely out of nowhere, they ended up having a baby, which I didn't expect at all. But anyway, what? Yeah, I knew it, Boom Boom and Pom Pom. I had that guess since a long time ago. Hyper Smash attacks, though. That's pretty good, and that's kind of a decent base power for just a 3-star. Okay, what do you... Okay. Oh, Hero Chow, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Because, yeah, I remember back in Sonic Adventure 2, like, I would spend ages trying to get Hero Chow and Dark Chow. And I remember I was really happy when I got my very first Chow to become a Hero Chow. Yeah, I knew you'd turn into crazy horror mother demon. 5-volt angry. Wait a minute, where are Almond Celica? There they are. Yeah, of course, they turn into adult Almond Celica. 3-star. Back shield equip. Well, I guess shields were equipable items in Gaiden, but it should be back shield equip, but you can't equip a weapon, because Gaiden only gives you one inventory slot for some dumb reason. Okay then. Model ZX. I might want to put some of these in the dojo just to level them up a bit. Yes, I'm kind of putting this off, but yeah. Because and if I, like, if I'm right about who's behind Azura, I'm also going to have to talk about another controversial character. Hyper Smash Jax is nice, I might as well level you up. Oh, and of course, let's level you up. Okay, any new... Oh, I actually got quite a few new enhanceable spirits. While all of the... Oh, you're a 3-star enhanceable, though. That means you're likely to turn into a 4-star enhance, which will be very strong. But I'm also kind of tempted just to enhance Waddle Dee for the lols. I'm gonna put you in there, even though you might take ages to level up since you're a 3-star. Okay, with that done, can I do anything in my skill tree? I've got quite a few points. Do I have additional mid-air jump already? Was there anything I was going for in particular? Poison Smash is kind of cool. Oh, I suppose I should get 2 more for no penalty for continuous dodging. Okay, then, I'll put this off as long as I can. Let's fight you with a water type. Now, again, I'm going to be muting the game audio for this fight, because, yeah, Being Inc., which, it's not Nintendo, by the way, it's a Japanese recording studio called Being Inc. that owns Lost in Thoughts All Alone, because it was actually a debut single over there. And, yeah, they have a tendency to bring the copyright hammer down on you. So, I am going to mute this audio. Okay, this is weird. Let's see. Also, fighting Azura with Wild Heart's pretty funny. Slow super armor on Greninja doesn't sound like a particularly good combo, but I don't know. Greninja's speed might negate that somewhat. Oh, no. Corrin has activated Ultimate Face Touch Attack. Haven't actually used it yet, though. Uh-oh. Ultimate Face Touch Vortex! Okay, yeah, I'm not used to Greninja's recovery. I got footstooled off the edge, but... Okay. Oh, I barely clipped the top of it. Well, I'm getting face touched to death, I guess. No, I'm okay. Oh, that almost could have ended badly. Wow, you are good at parrying. That can go... Uh-oh. Thank you, Corrin, for saving my life. Not so thank you for grabbing that sword. Okay. Oh, yikes, this is bad. Yeah, definitely... Well, if I am using a slow super armor, it's not going to be on Greninja. I think this is the first 4-star I've... Hey, you got a double final smash? I got a double... Well, that was anticlimactic. I just noticed, though, that you turn into Ash Greninja, who's apparently at the top of the... As of recording this video, Ash Greninja's at the top of the OU viability rankings on Smoggin. I don't know, I never really liked Ash Greninja because it implies that Ash is canon to the games, and I've always hated Ash, but anyway. Yep, it's Corrin. No surprises there. Right. I'm still going to be using Greninja, but I'm not going to be using slow super armor because that would be dumb. I mean, slow super armor was not what actually won me the fight that time. So it's Corrin. It's fighting another Corrin right after a Corrin. And yeah, weirdly enough, Corrin was the one DLC character that I bought in Smash 4. You know, because they're another Fire Emblem character. Speaking of which, yeah, if Corrin was in the Light World, I definitely would have used them to fight the Lord of Salt, because by far, they are one of the characters that caused the most salt at their inclusion in Smash out of anyone. And yeah, for being another Fire Emblem character, and from being from one of the most controversial games in the series at that. Like it's funny, I've seen, Serena's Forest has, not Serena's Forest, TV Tropes has a poll of, voting for favorite Fire Emblem game, and it's kind of funny, because Awakening, I think, is, second, but it's because it has the most upvotes by far, but also the most downvotes by far, which makes perfect sense. Just remember, Greninja's down special is also a counter, because of course it is. Smash 4 was the game where everyone had to have a counter. I love the substitute doll is still there. Oh, speaking of everyone has a counter. Was that the mine or your attack that got me? Well, this at least gives me more chance to talk about it, but, yeah, all three versions of Fates were really low on that list. It seems like nowadays Fates is hated both by Awakening fans and old fans, which, I don't know, I actually think gameplay-wise it's a lot better than Awakening, so I feel like that's a little unfair, but, you know, the story controversy and other things like that just... I still feel like, as far as video game plots go, Fates' story is not the worst I've seen, but that's because I've seen Ride to Hell Retribution and Sonic 06 and other things like that. But yeah, and of course Corrin being another sword-wielding Fire Emblem character. And okay, there is admittedly one thing about the Corrin inclusion salt that I suppose kind of annoys me. Everyone was like, oh, Corrin was only included to advertise Fate. You guys do realize Fate was out in Japan for 6 months before Corrin got into Smash. But of course, some people, I know, again, this is kind of a controversy magnet, I don't want to go too far into this, but there are quite a lot of people in the Smash Bros community who don't seem to realize that it's a Japanese game. But anyway, it's not like Roy was literally included to advertise his game. Roy's game was not out at the time that Melee released. And because of that, also this is literally Meta Knight's new Final Smash and Zoroark's attack, so I don't see why they keep repeating this kind of thing. But yeah, that's also why Roy's sort of implied personality in Smash is nothing like his actual personality, because I think in an interview, Sakurai admitted that he based Melee Roy entirely off of concept art that he was given during the development of Binding Blade. So at the time, he had no clue what Roy's actual personality would end up being. This one isn't... Yeah, this is an Adam. Well, I guess I can... switch over to Corrin now. But yes, he imagined that Roy would be a fiery hothead just from seeing his concept art, and then it turned out, nope, Roy is kind of the exact opposite of that. Yeah. I want to use Shulk more, but I guess I should use the newcomer, and speaking of which, this is why characters being organized by their debut in Smash confuses me. I still prefer being organized by series, and I wish that was an option, because it would let me find characters more easily. Of course, let's go for... Nope, not those people. Off the hook. Where are you? There you are. 3-star. Oh, it's Popcorn Jelly. Okay, so... It's breaking my tangent for another tangent. Nobody's gonna... This is just an in-joke for me, but I call this song Popcorn Jelly, and you'll see why once we get to the chorus. Also, yeah, apparently this stage appears in its Splatfest form. I have not played Corrin in ages, wow. This stage appears in its Splatfest form. Don't you walk off ledges me, please. When a Splatfest song is playing on it. I.e. Popcorn Jelly. I think there's another Splatfest song in this one, but... Yeah, so wait for it. I missed it the first time, but... Oh, okay, the Squid Sisters overwrote the song. Anyway, the chorus of this song, I like to think they're going, popcorn jelly. I don't know why, but that's what I've always heard that as. So that's what I call this song. Yeah, so that's a very strange in-joke, but yeah. That's why I love the... I never actually played any of the Splatoon games, mainly because... I probably already said this before, but I feel like they're a lot more fun if you can play online, and Australia's internet's terrible, and I suck at shooting games anyway. Oh, the Squid Sisters seem to play different songs every time they're summoned. That's interesting. Oh! Well, I'm dead again, because I had not played Corrin in forever, even though they were the only DLC character I actually owned from the previous game. But, yeah. The final boss of Octo Expansion, though, looks really cool, and I particularly I kind of was really happy when the song turned into a triumphant remix of Popcorn Jelly. Which is, again, a very, very strange thing to be saying, but I don't think anyone calls that song that other than me, but now you know. To me, that song is called Popcorn Jelly. So, back to Corrin. Yeah, Corrin... Okay, so you can kick out of that. Yeah, again, I'm still getting used to Corrin. Okay, got one of you. And face touched! Corrin hath touched his first face. More will come. But Corrin will not rest until he and she, because there are two different Corrins in alternate timelines, he and she have touched the face of the Lord of Salt for imprisoning them. It looks like that's the end of the road. The thing is, though... Okay, back at the time Corrin was revealed... I kind of went crazy about it only because I just had my silly face toucher headcanon and I just found it hilarious. I mean, I'm glad in hindsight that I had that, because otherwise I would have had a hard time taking Corrin seriously as a character. I just love the fact that I came up with a stupid headcanon for them, because, again, it let me overlook a lot of their flaws in the story. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Now you've loaded. I'll alternate Corrins. I'll probably alternate Robins as well. Because at the time, I was still trying to stay blind on Fates, because I was going to do my blind playthrough. Okay, then. Guess Wolf makes sense for representing a gangster. But the main reason why I was okay with Corrin is that, yeah, they're a sword user, and yeah, they're a main character. Because I kind of like to say, I mean, I guess the chances of a non-lord showing up in a Smash game as a character would be pretty low. But, oh, I forgot which one I was. I thought I was Wolf for a second there. Yeah, I need to learn how to combo with that, because that does stun people. And that can easily kick you off the stage. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Yeah, they are a sword user, but the thing is, they play nothing like any of the other Fire Emblem characters, and I like that. Because I think the main problem with Fire Emblem, at least to me, I mean, I'm biased because... Oh, right, we got to KO the gangster, not the police officer or the lady. It's like that shooting test in The Simpsons. But anyway, also, I find it kind of funny that Ike represented a police officer there, because he was a police officer in There Will Be Brawl. Yeah, I'm kind of going all over the place here, but... you being Pikachu is pretty good. Apparently, I'm going to learn to hate this song later, because I know that Gigamac uses it, and he's supposed to be a nightmare spirit. But... I mean, I'm biased because Fire Emblem is one of my favorite video game franchises. Oh, photographer, that makes sense. But... to me, the problem with the number of Fire Emblem reps is not that there's this many of them, but that so many of them are semi-clones. Like, for example, Mario has a lot of characters, but the vast majority of them don't play anything like each other. Only Mario, Luigi, and I guess Dr. Mario, but he is by definition a clone. He's on an Echo Fighter, apparently. There are, like, again, there aren't as many that play similarly. Like, Pokemon has a lot of reps, but apart from Pikachu and Pichu, every Pokemon plays very differently, even Lucario and Mewtwo. What's Corrin's title? Blood of Oh, not the one who touches faces. The Great Face... yeah, that's my title for them, the Great Face Toucher. And so, yeah, seeing Fire Emblem characters like Robin and Corrin who don't play anything like the others, it was pretty refreshing. And Corrin I found really fun in the last game. Speaking of Robin... that's funny. I was talking before about how those three are kind of like the three evil mage sisters from Fire Emblem 4, and they're representing them with Fire Emblem characters, so... you know, in my headcanon, these are not just the three mage sisters from Kirby. They are all... nice fire combo, and I think one of them did use, Hellfire in FE4. But yeah, the three evil mage sisters in Genealogy of the Holy War, one of the few enemy trios who can use the triangle attack, by the way, which is kind of cool. And I think their names were horribly mistranslated in the first translation patch. I think they're supposed to be Celtic, or they're definitely a mythology reference, but they kind of butchered them to like Vampa, Fetra, and Eliu when they're supposed to be... I forget exactly what they're meant to be, but I know it's a mythology reference. And then the final chapter has the three evil Pegasus Knight sisters who are palette swapped of them, because Fire Emblem 4 loves palette swaps. Yeah, part of me does want to redo the Fire Emblem 4 playthrough just so I can make jokes about Zane McPalette swap again.
Your fate is clear!
The guy who's palette swapped at least 7 times over the course of Genealogy, I think. Make sure I don't get 4 on. Oh, no! I can still touch your face! Come here! Come here, face! Here, facey, facey, facey! Yes! And now I will touch your face! 2 faces have been touched. I'm sorry, I just... The moment I saw the Private Quarters trailer in the Japanese version, I could never take that mechanic seriously, and I could never take Corrin seriously, and so that happened. Yeah, I believe, Andross was there. I still remember a lot of Andross's, I need a gravity immunity. Do I have a Fire Emblem spirit who has 2 slots? Doesn't look like it. I still remember Andross's hammy speeches. And once again, Ganondorf is just the... Oh, you need a generic villain? Use Ganondorf. Of this game. Oh, right, that. I still don't get why Andross looks like that in the original Star Fox, and he looks like a big floating ape head in 64. Like, I don't know. In fact, even the original Star Fox is weird. Like, what the heck even is its canon status? Is 64 just like a retelling of the same story? Because that's what I've always thought. Because Andross looks nothing like... Although I do like that in Adventures, even though Andross's inclusion in Adventures was incredibly nonsensical, and it made General Scales a total joke when he should have been a pretty cool villain. But I'm pretty sure everyone feels that way about that game. Also, yeah, the final boss being of a gameplay mechanic that is totally different. Well, not like the same as the rest of the game. That tile almost got me. Your sword almost got me. And you're permanent, aren't you? But I did like how they kind of referenced both iterations of Andross in that game. The giant Krazoa head form references this mode, and then it's of course the giant ape head as well. Continue. Also, apparently Andross's backstory in the comic, I don't know if this is a comic or is it a manga, I forget exactly what it is, but it was some kind of tie-in backstory where he was in love with Fox's mother, and then he went yandere and tried to kill James McCloud with a car bomb, but he let his wife borrow his car that day, and yeah. That's kind of dark. And then there was that, you know, the ending of Star Fox Assault implying that, Dash might one day follow in his grandfather or father? I forget his exact relation to Andross, but... And it's definitely not, nephew, because that's the other guy. Who's a meme for saying, Uncle Andross! I don't even know what song's playing at the moment. Anyway, also one other thing I like about Corrin is they're technically the closest thing to a Lance user will get from a Fire Emblem game, because those things are really hard to see with Andross here, because they have these attacks that have tippers and that, well, are long and pointy, like, Lance! Yeah, I should probably be focusing. I'm dead. No, I'm not. Oh no, I'm definitely dead now because I forgot to press up B. Ironically, Andross is giving me more trouble than James McCloud did. But, yeah. There is one other thing that I could say about Corrin, but again, this is kind of a minefield and I don't really want to get into it, but... I still don't really like how female Corrin gets considered a waifu, because from a role standpoint, they're the exact opposite. They make other people into their husbandos, and they're the one who's the proxy for the player, not the one getting romanced by the player, but apparently, yeah, people who are familiar with Smash, but not so much the actual games, are like, oh, she's barefoot waifu or something. I don't know. And it also let... okay, again, there's a lot of... Because I did get one comment saying, oh, what's wrong with... People can like characters for different reasons. What's wrong with people liking a character based on appearance? But, I mean, I'm allowed to get annoyed when people only like a character based on them looking hot and don't really care about how their actual personality is in the story, right? Because, I mean, with people like Camilla or Thar or Jar/Ya, however you want to pronounce it, like, the sex appeal is actually part of their character, so it makes sense, but... Wow, that is a painful way to KO someone. Also face touched. Huh. Are you going to enhance into your brain form? That would be cool. And also reference another. Well, I think every single line Andross says in that game's a meme. Oh, wait a minute. Every single line that everyone says in Star Fox 64 is a meme. We're getting closer to the spirit of Ultimate Doom. Oh, that looks kind of like the beginning of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. But anyway, I don't know. It's also just weird. Oh. Wolf. Okay. Well, Krystal's totally optional. I didn't expect to be finding Wolf so soon. I'm also getting a deluge of new characters, which is kind of unfortunate, because it means that they just don't... Like, Greninja didn't really get a lot of You know what? I'm going to switch over to Greninja now to rectify the screen time. I've used both male and female Corrin. Let's give Greninja a little bit of spotlight. I still wish there was some kind of statistic that showed how often you've used each character in this mode. Real ninjas wear bright hot pink, even though that makes no sense for being a ninja. I mean, admittedly, if you can be stealthy while being bright pink, you deserve props for that. Uh-oh, I didn't equip a gravity immunity. Me Brawler must be somewhere in this mode. I still have no clue who this is, but I think they're from a Me game. Also, this song I always thought was pretty cool. Uh-oh, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, that's my side B. Is that... I think it's Shadow Sneak, actually, and I think you hold it down to increase the length of your shadow. Yes, it is, although it's hard to see the shadow on a stage that itself has shadows, like this one. Anyway, I've only taken 0.8% of a damage. Of our damage, yeah, that's a noun. Real ninjas use charge-up laser blasters. Actually, that reminds me of one of those old animes where they censor firearms to laser guns. But anyway, stop teasing me with the characters I don't have yet. Oh, great. I have no other choice, do I? I think I've said that all I wanted to about that whole... Oh, it's more as well that I don't like how some people will treat male and female Corrin differently as characters. Just because one of them looks more attractive to them than the other. I mean, they act the exact same way in the story, and they're both, like, and, yeah. Anyway, don't want to go into that. Let's go into a different game that's a massive controversy magnet for its story, and of course, there's no way we're not using Samus for this. Regular or Zero Suit? So Zero Suit would be payback for that cutscene where Adam sacrifices himself in Other M, but regular Samus would be payback for the authorization system because she'd be using all of her powers. Let's go with regular Samus. Also, when I do this fight, I'm going to make an obligatory joke that I'm sure many people have made before. Also, defeat the main fighter to win, huh? Oh, the support should be a Samus that doesn't do anything. But it should have been, your special moves are disabled temporarily for certain durations, or the floor is lava and you're not allowed to use lava immunity spirits. So, again, I'm going to be using a, you know what? Even though it's useless in this fight, give me a multi-slot spirit. Okay, there we go. Even though it's totally pointless, just because... Where is a lava floor immunity spirit? That'd be the Medius or... Let's see. There we go. Yep, I have to do this. I thought you'd be a snake too. I mean, that makes sense. Snake's probably the closest you can get. So... Oh, wait a minute. So yeah, obligatory joke that I'm sure many people have done before. So, Adam hadn't authorized me to breathe? I'm sorry, I had to. But, anyway, this freaking guy right here, yeah. So, I will say, yeah. I mean, Adam comes across as unintentionally unlikable and stupid in Other M, but who doesn't in that game? Everyone, including Samus. In fact, you know, everyone except Anthony Higgs in that game, including Samus, comes across as unintentionally unlikable and stupid. It's a fact. And I don't know, well, that was weird. And it's kind of funny that I beat him with the screw attack because, there is a bit in Other M where... I do admit that it is actually kind of cool. There's a bit in Other M where Samus activates the screw attack and gravity suit without authorization and says, with biting sarcasm, any objections, Adam? That was cool. So I guess that will be a representation of that. But, well, I guess I didn't get to talk about it all that much. So, I do find it a bit... I don't know. I don't actually... I mean, I suppose I understand why, but I still think it's going a bit too far to say that Other M Adam is psychologically abusive. I feel like that's taking it a bit too far. I feel like more it's just the authorization system is really, really, really dumb. I guess I'll fight Wolf with Fox. I am fighting Wolf here, right? Anyway. It's more just the authorization system in general that's just inherently a problem, and it actually... Oh, hey, Fox with James McLeod fighting Wolf. Let's go. This will probably be pretty quick. So, it actually plays into something that TV Tropes calls franchise original sin, which is something that was always kind of a problem in earlier installments of a franchise, but just wasn't quite as pronounced there, or just wasn't as bad until later. And that's the fact that I've always felt like Metroid ran into that issue. It has to justify why Samus loses her powers at the start of every game. Well, except for the very beginning, which didn't try and do that and was arguably better for it. Because in a Metroidvania game, part of the joy of the genre is finding new powers throughout the game and unlocking new areas of the world to explore based on what new powers you've got. Because of that, if the protagonist started with all of their abilities, then that will kind of defeat the point, and so Samus has to lose all of her items at the start of every game. And that kind of inherently became a problem, because starting with the Prime series, they had to come up with increasingly ridiculous ways in which Samus could lose her items. And it just became more and more unbelievable each time. Great, now people are going to hate me for criticizing the plots of the Prime games, but it's like, first time, yeah, I can kind of see that, but it's like, there's only so many times it can be Samus gets caught in some big dimensional distortion or explosion and loses all her items before it gets kind of, I don't know, just a bit annoying. Prime 3, though, was better. You didn't actually lose most of your starting items in Prime 3. Instead, you got new ones. However, there was one issue with Prime 3, and that was that... Oh, okay. Thankfully, I thought for a second that was Star Wolf's theme. Was that Samus lost the Seeker missiles from Prime 2 with no explanation at all. But again, no explanation is probably better than, you know, the authorization system. This issue is something... Okay, that looks pretty cool. And I haven't actually played as Wolf in a long time. This issue is something that the Castlevania series never really had, because... Are Wolf's claw attacks considered fists? I guess we'll find out. Apparently this one's really... Oh, I suppose Fox and... Yeah, because there's no Slicky character in this, so it's like... Fox, Falco, and Krystal is the closest thing to the original team as possible. Wow, this is chaotic. Okay, then. I'm probably going to die horribly a lot, but it gives me more time to talk about this thing that I was talking about. Castlevania didn't really have this problem because... Yikes, that's a lot of characters comboing me at once. Because... it takes place generations apart, and so every game usually stars a new protagonist, and thus they don't even need to do the whole bag of spilling trope every time. It makes sense that the new protagonist wouldn't start with the same powers as the old one, because they're a completely different protagonist. So, anyway... just having to justify losing all your powers, I've always felt that was kind of an issue with Metroid storylines in general, and probably why the best Metroid games are the ones that either had their storyline contained in... Well, I guess that, Krystal's immune to that. And I also destroyed her girlfriend, who's also on my team in Command for weird reasons. Yeah, Command had to do that whole break up the canon couple because I believe that can spike people, because, you know, gotta have that romantic tension drawn out. And then the first ending that you got in Command forcibly broke up Fox and Krystal again. Ow! Kick right to the stomach. I don't really care though, because I'm on a different tangent. But it's more that it's just like, sometimes gameplay and story segregation is a good thing, because other times you get things like Other M where they're like, huh, how can we justify Samus not losing her powers? I know, we'll have it so she starts with her powers, but she has to get authorization before she can use them. And like with power bombs, that makes sense, because, you know, that could potentially kill trapped civilians or personnel. But, like, from a gameplay standpoint, it makes sense that you'd have to go through a lava area without your lava immunity suits. But from a story standpoint, it makes no sense that you would have to go through the lava area, and it wouldn't be until you fight the boss at the end that Adam is like, oh, okay, now you can use the Varia suit. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, it's funny, I said in the last part, like, the main, I guess, to sum up, like, you can sum up my opinion on Other M's story as this. I barely remember any of it. The only things I remember about Other M's story, apart from the controversial parts that everyone talks about on the internet, are a bunch of people saying Madeline Bergman over and over again. And I still, to this day, don't even fully comprehend what the heck Madeline Bergman even is. Or why they keep saying that name like it's so profound. It's like, oh, she has the same initials as Mother Brain. That's such a profound thing. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably a good indicator of how not great that story is, that I barely remember it at all. Okay, apparently Falco's down already. Like, I'm barely even paying attention to this fight, I'm just talking about my tangents. I now know Krystal's immune to the Wolfen. I was actually trying to use my... Get over here... Oh, nope. And, shipping combo times 2, because I earlier got comboed by Shulk and Fiora. And gameplay-wise, it was kind of mediocre, but I didn't really consider it the worst thing I've ever played. I'm glad I rented it rather than buying it, because at the time, it was full price, and it went into bargain bins pretty quickly, but it was like an actual full price game at the time, like $99 for Australia. Because yeah, full price games are freaking expensive over here. $80 to $100 for a console game, $60 to $70 for a, That was cool. Am I dead or... Nope, someone else was going flying there. But anyway, see, I'm glad I rented it rather than buying it, but... I don't know, I didn't find it quite as offensively bad as some other people did, but again, it's more because Metroid as a series doesn't really mean as much to me. I mean, I enjoy the games a lot, and I love Super Metroid, I love the Prime games, all 3 of them are still alive. Nope! I don't care that I'm getting my butt totally kicked at this fight, because it gives me more time to go on tangents. Because this is the last thing I really have to deal with in this maze, I think. Anyway, people are probably going to kill me for this because on the internet, you're not allowed to express any opinion on Other M that's not absolute scathing disdain. But one thing about the game that I find incredibly interesting is that... I just had kind of another idea for hand. Like the thing is, a lot of, I guess the whole sending you into the lava without the Varia suit is why people consider Adam to be like abusive in that game, but I don't so much consider it like a conscious story decision that he's making, and more just really, really terrible gameplay and story integration that is just nonsensical, and yeah, I don't really even consider that as an in-character decision that he's even making. It's just a really stupid attempt to justify the gameplay. And I can get you both with this if I'm... Well, I only got one of you. I think people are probably already calling for my head by this point, but the thing that I find really interesting... Haven't even really got to talk about how I feel about Wolf as a Smash fighter. But, yeah, the thing that I find interesting is that Legends of Localization did a post on, like, they did research on how do Japanese players feel about Other M. And what's interesting is, the main... Okay, thankfully that was my KO flash, not his. Probably gonna level you up, you look pretty good. I still think she probably could have been an actual fighter, but still. Basically, the overall complaints and criticisms about Other M, exactly the same in both territories. Things like Samus came across as too weak, the authorization system was stupid, the plot was weird, the game was too linear, the pixel hunting segments were terrible. Like, that is one thing that I will just say was just, no, that was pretty awful about the game. And yeah, all the complaints are pretty much exactly the same as the complaints of Western fans. The difference is that the general Japanese reaction was, okay, so this series got a lackluster game. It's not the end of the world. The general Western reaction was, this series got a terrible game, oh no, it's the end of the world, let's kill Sakamoto now! Basically, the reaction was the exact same in both territories. Western fans were just a lot more angry and venomous about it. And that just leads me to one other thing that I find interesting. I used to all... Wait, there's a boss in there? There's a boss in there? How did I miss that? Huh. There's a lot of people who say that Western gamers and Japanese gamers have really different tastes, and when I was doing game design or some other game-related course at university, I actually did just a very small research project, not like a thesis or anything, just like one essay, trying to examine that, like the opinions of Japanese versus Western gamers on various things, and the conclusion I came to was pretty surprising from my findings. Japanese gamers and Western gamers are not so different. We both complain about the exact same things. There are niche genres in both territories, and overall, we're a lot more similar than most people think we are. It was kind of an eye-opening experience for me. Because, like, I found out, like, the main complaints that Japanese gamers have about games are things like bad Japanese to English localization. Well, Western fans complain about localizations of Japanese games all the time. Oh, right, there's more. Okay. Which among these... Well, I suppose if you didn't know about Chrom, this would be hard. Oh, please tell me that we're not going to get Chrom here, because that would mean that so many new fighters. Wow, this place is long. This is going to be a 3-part dungeon or even more. Elincia? Well, maybe in an alternate universe fanfic. Elise? Nah, she kind of fulfills a similar role, but not really. Mist? Well, close. She's someone's younger sister. And of course, Lissa. Are they all Isabels? No, yeah, you're a Palutena, which kind of makes sense. The others are all Isabels. You know what? I think I'll actually continue this next time. So, you know, before I go, though, I should probably get that easier dodging. No penalty for continuous dodging. I would kind of like to get Metal Killer too, but yeah. Poison Smash doesn't seem that bad either. So, yeah, unless I've been murdered by the comment section after this video, I'll see you next time.